Hey, this is Josh at the CG Monastery. I have an updated mDrake here to show. If you have this asset unlocked in the CG Monastery, you'll have access to this. You just download the new version and get to town. If you don't, you can buy it. And how we're doing things is we continually update and improve assets. And as we add more, if you have a license of that asset, when we put new versions up, you just get it. So this release has a couple of new things. Let me go ahead and put some lights in the scene. So I do have lights in the scene. Let me show you how to do that just because I thought you might want to see that. Alright. So if I just wanted to go to CGM, Lightroom Light, and perspective, I'm going to add the modeling set. I'll get my modeling lights. I can change whatever lighting set I want to, I just did that. Here, let me just do perspective. It's done. Fireside. Oh, 2. Anyway, it's just a way to have lights set up to make things look a little appealing when I'm showing stuff, and when I'm modeling or tweaking things, like to have some lights in scene. And it constrains it to the perspective like that, so that as I rotate it, it keeps the same lighting. So this version of mDrake has a number of changes. I've made some changes to the mesh. I shrunk his teeth a bit, and I actually don't remember all I did. I've been working on this off and on for a while. This is a part of a facial block update, so this is the latest facial setup. I added upper cheek, I added the smile control, I added the sneer control. Those weren't in the last version. Some of the controls look a little bit different. What else? I have a working pistol in this version I've added. We added some new handles, which I'm going to show you here. We have a new handle type. One other thing, this rig is created with the Morpheus rig system, MIS. So this full facial setup, the whole setup is something that you can learn to do for your own assets. If you like, you can just join our MIS workshop and start making stuff if you like. And if not, you can just use this one or just ignore it. So one thing we added, so mDrake is targeted at Unity and Unreal. Our current project that we're working in is Unreal, but it works with Unity as well because we've done stuff in there too. This is a reminder, when you first open things up, if you try to move, it's going to be pretty slow. To enable parallel evaluation, you need to set 2 different keys, and they need to be different. And then once you come back in the middle, you're going to see nice and speedy interaction. So just so you know that. This version also has mirroring. So I can push this pose to the other side. Let's see, I'm center, so mirror push. So put on that side, or I can say if I had something like this. Oops, let me just brow. And I wanted to flip this. I could just do the lower face, mirror push to the other side, or I can flip the pose, flip, and then the brow is different. So if I want to push the brow, push. You get the idea. Anyone who's used MIS assets knows how that works. So this is the puppet marking menu. This is a part of our base tool set. So the CGM toolbox is free, and you can use it, but our stuff is designed to work with it. So if I want to reset this, it's just a lower face, I can do that. Let's see. So there's a new thing for game work. We needed a prop handle to be able to attach things to. So I'm going to turn off joints. Show joints. Okay. So the way that they currently work, I have one on each hand, and so we have this new snap point. And so if I turn it on, you'll see it shows up here. I'm going to need to use these in a second. And so these don't really do anything except to have they make a joint so that in the game engine we have a place we can align props to or weapons to. And so that's what it is. So I can turn them on both hands if I want. If I have lock on, that just means that I can see it. I just can't select it. We use that for several things. So this is a reference scene. So I have both mDrake and the pistol referenced in. The pistol is here. It has controls. It has, I don't know if I toasted a little bit about it a while ago, but it has functionality. This is also our first pass into an SDK setups for Miss. So the fire actually has a cycle on it, so you can use that if you like, or you can just pull the trigger yourself and do something else. But what we wanted was a way to be able to animate this with the character well, and so that's the reason we have these as snap points. So what I would do if I was going to animate this, and I'm going to have this scene, once I have this set up, it'll be a part of the mDrake August 2019 package, so you can use this as a base file, but just so you kind of know what it is. So we use something called space pivots, and again, if you use Miss, you'll have an idea what this is. So I'm going to go and turn on these. I'm going to turn on 0, 1, 2, and that's going to put them down here. So this one's 2, so I want that one there, and 0, and that's 1. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap this to the holster, and I set this up so that these match. So if I snap this pistol to the holster, they align how I want them to. I did a little video on this a couple weeks ago about how that kind of works. And so I'm just going to snap each of these to their respective snap points. All right. And then I'm just going to constrain this to this. Constrain parent. Constrain parent. And then constrain constrain parent. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is turn those off, so I don't need to see them anymore. Off. So now what happens is when I'm in my main mode, I have, this is the animation space I'm in. I'm just in the master space. The master controls down here. Then if I switch to pivot 0 and then reset that handle, oops, I have this attribute selected, so it's doing that. 0. Let's see, it's here, and then if I snap to here, it goes to this hand, and if I go to here, it goes to this hand. So then if I move this hand, the pistol is now in that space, but I can still animate that pistol. Then let's show so I have the beginnings of a pose library for this. I'll probably go ahead and check in what I have, just so we have something that y'all can play with. I just don't have a lot of poses yet. So if I go to msAnimate, and I wanted to make sure I don't have anything I don't want y'all to see here. Yeah, okay. So if I want to load just on these fingers, I would just go to Part, Siblings, load the pose, select it, and then load it. Oh, I don't have siblings. Siblings. Load. Oop. I have something else going on. Let's see. I don't know if I saved this after I did this latest build, so this might not work right. I might need to reload this. Let me check here. Yep. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to fix this. Alright, now it's worked. So I did some work on the mirror stuff and my match mode was off, so that's why. So what I have here is my pistol hand. So if I had this hand, you know, whatever, and I want to load my pose, it's just going to load this context. So my siblings would be the sibling controls of this, and because these are all the same hierarchical level, they're all under the arm, then they're all siblings. And then I can just load that. Cool. So I will update that so you shouldn't have that issue. And again, your pose match mode, you're going to usually want to use excuse me, mirror index for now. And I'll add some more poses as we go. And so my plan is I'm going to do a little bit of more animation. I have to do on a gig soon. But after that, I want to show some of the dynamic FK stuff that we've been doing. So I'm planning on putting Drake on the horse and doing a little riding on it and show you how to use the dynamic FK to get your base passive animation for that. Because I think that might be helpful because it's been really helpful for us. So this is the updated version of mDrake. Again, if you have the asset unlocked, you'll just be able to get the new version. I'm going to do some animation on this to show it off a little bit. I just got to find some time. But this is what we got. This is mDrake for August 2019 release. It'll be up in a jiffy.